Folks, hello and welcome to the Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse live stream. I am one of your hosts, Eric Tenkar, and with me, as always, every other Friday, is none other than
Mm-hmm.
Glenn Halstrom, Old Man Grognard, Radio Grognard. Am I missing any?
Thakos Hammer.
Fake Hammer. There we go.
Yes. Old Man Grognard, who is not Eric Tenkar.
I am not, no, we are not each other, and each other are not I. So, welcome. Sit back and relax. Enjoy the show.
Oh, okay. See you later.
No,
I thought you meant me.
no,
I was going to go in the living room.
No.
I was going to go in the living room, watch a movie or something. Yeah.
Isn't that what he's always play in front of at the movie theater? Sit back and relax. Enjoy the show.
Let's all go to the restroom. Let's all go to the
restroom and have ourselves a party.
Yes, we did. What about it? We started on time.
Yes, don't get you know what? Yes,
don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. It's not gonna always happen. All right, I'm just saying. Just saying. We get technical issues. We get bathroom issues. We get I was almost late because I was trying to dig out my bottle of Buffalo Trace, still sealed. This comes out in a little bit. I'm going to be pouring myself a special drink for a special day.
What's so special about Buffalo Trace?
Buffalo Trace it's hard to find in the Northeast, that's for sure. It's Kentucky. But I finally, after looking for this for months, I finally tracked it down in a liquor store in the Poconos, and they had like two bottles by the register. And I sadly only grabbed one. I should have grabbed two. And I'm like, I'm gonna save this for a special day. And today's kind of special. Hey, wait, wasn't that the Michelob commercial? Tonight is kind of special. I think that was the Michelob commercial. I'm showing my age. I'm showing my age. It's pretty bad.
Tastes great, less filling? No.
That was Miller Lite.
That was Miller Lite, yeah. We will get to that eventually.
You're jumping the gun. You're jumping the gun. You can't jump the gun. You can't do it.
Well, Mother Superior jumped the gun. I mean,
well, the Flying Nun probably, but I don't know about that.
Hey, believe it or not, I got paid for my artwork last night.
2 thumbs up.
What's the first thing I do? Go to Amazon and buy something.
What'd you get at Amazon, dude?
I bought a CD. Wow.
Okay, but what CD was it?
I bought a 2 CD set. Well, I decided to You know how when I said I got back into gaming when I started doing Save or Die and I started buying all the old stuff to build up my collection? Well, I decided to do that with my my love of the Beatles. I used to have a complete collection that's been gone many years now from many moves. And I decided to I'm going to start with the Beatles Past Masters. The reason being that if I'm going to do a complete Beatles collection, that fills in the gaps, which are like all the single releases that never made it onto album or anything like that. So I want to start with that, and then I'll think about start collecting more of the CDs. So
that's a pretty good collection to have. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a commercial. Wasn't Michelob? It was Lowenbrow.
Okay, but we have Sirius XM in the car, and when I'm in the car, it is constantly welded to channel 18, the Beatles channel. So
I do the Beatles, classic vinyl. I used to do deep tracks. I don't like deep tracks much anymore. Classic rewind. You know,
Becky's. We've got 70s on 7, 80s on 8 because Becky likes those, and I like the 80s. The Message because Becky likes her Christian music, and B.B. King's Bluesville.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Did you know that. I didn't even know that was on yet. It's still on. Used to be that the Beatles channel was 18. And if you go over to channel 19, that's the Elvis channel.
Okay,
But I think
what's
they
the
moved
Elvis?
that somewhere else.
Okay, I Beatles. I could listen to Beatles 24/7 and
Me too.
enjoy everything there.
Me too. I mean, it's It's an incredible channel. Bluesville is fun too because I always like me some blues.
Yep, gotta be in the mood
Um,
for it. Yep.
oh yeah. Anyway, so what we're going to say? Oh, I want to. Before we get into the main event,
We're gonna have multiple main events because I know you all are gonna give us like little rabbit holes to walk down in different directions. I expect that fully.
yeah. Well, I wanted to laugh at you
Me?
for the tavern chat that talked about Dan Proctor and Labyrinth Lord Second Edition.
Oh,
I know the 1.1 thing kind of overshadowed it,
it did. Yes.
but
Yeah.
and
Laboratory.
I just wanted to laugh, saying, I told you this. I told you this 5, 6 years ago. This was going to happen. I didn't know he was going to come back. I thought he was gone forever.
We
You
all
know,
thought it was actually.
both me and Lloyd Metcalf were going, come on, Dan, what's going on?
I can count of at least one, two. All right, at least three people, and
Uh-huh.
or companies, at least three entities that publish material in the OSR that offered outright to buy Labyrinth Lord in the last 2 or 3 years.
Really? This I
Yes,
didn't know.
yes. And Dan said no, and I can understand it. You're attached to your property. He wasn't doing anything with it. It was withering on the vine. It's just, it's
Lloyd wanted it. Lloyd wanted it.
and Lloyd makes four.
And you know, he didn't do anything. And I remember Lloyd telling me at the last DungeonCon, he says, "Now I'm going to OSE. He's dead. He doesn't want to do anything. He won't do anything." So finally, he comes up with this 2E idea, and yeah, I knew it was too little, too late. But you know, and now he's talking about coming up with a license for Labyrinth Lord 2E material that people can get, and it's like, what's the point?
Yeah,
And
it's
this OSL, this OGL 1.1 may make it a moot point.
it may. Oh God! But by the way, L, if you're comparing my reach to the reach of N World, I appreciate the flattery, but it's going to get you nowhere, and I don't have that reach or influence.
But
Usually, when people like Dancy know of me, it's usually because it's like, oh, that guy who who went after my friend and insulted him or whatever. It's not like, oh, Tenkar. There are people like that in the community that obviously enjoy my attention. I've never met Dancy, never spoken to him. And again, Morris has far more connections at WotC now and in the past than I will ever have. So, yeah.
oh, and also you didn't like the artwork around the edges on the
I
Labyrinth
listen.
Lord.
That
Does that mean you don't like? Does that mean you don't like Hyperborea 3E, which also has artwork around the edges?
it doesn't look like Christmas wrapping paper drawn by a young child.
Okay, I'll give that to you.
Can you give me that one? Can you give me an
All right.
amen?
And also in Hyperborea, they only put the borders around like the first 2 pages of the chapter.
Right. It's not on everyone.
And,
Listen, it's the same kind of shite as we had on Swords and Wizardry Complete third print, the Burning Bush edition.
Burning Vagina, yeah.
Yes, it's like, okay, who's got the STD or the yeast infection? And look at this distracting border art. Oh my God! I mean,
well, it wasn't, and also it wasn't so bad. But remember, Rule Cyclopedia had the top and bottom filigree, but it wasn't as intrusive as
No.
something like that.
So I need a little
Whoa, champions! Oh, Dendricon, don't get me started.
what's up with ThunderCon? Get him
I
started.
can't afford Dun. I now that I'm not in California anymore, I can't afford Dendricon.
Oh, okay. Oh, to California. It's a West Coast.
And that's yeah. Well, Dundrakon is one of the West Coast cons that the hero people frequent. I've met and talked to many of them. My late friend, whose name I cannot remember right now, Steve. My late friend Steve. He used to come out to. He used to go to Dundrakon, and then I used to see him at North Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah. Dundracon's a great con, by the way. It is a lot of fun.
So it's been going
I
on
think,
then for decades, I'm guessing, if that's the case. Wow.
Yeah, I remember when it started. Yes, I'm that old.
No, dude,
I'm absolutely that old.
I like that. Does it look like a Mystara book or an early King James Bible? Listen, I don't experience the King James Bible.
I would say more towards King James Bible, but don't you go trashing Mystara books.
Yeah, don't you do that. All right. So we're gonna get
you know what bugs people about the Mystara supplements, the gazetteers, is the fact they would put like a whatever the logo of the section of Mystara they were working on, it would be on the page and they'd overlay the text over it. And some people, it's like, that's weird. I can't stand that. It bothers me. It's distracting. But that's why, anyway.
All right. I just poured myself some Buffalo Trace. Like I said, it's a day to
bitching.
Pop open. I wanted a special occasion to pop open the Buffalo Trace, and today's a special occasion. Not going to discuss the occasion.
Happy days.
Suffice to say, I'm sure you can find it all online. But cheers to you, and by the way, cheers to Wizards of the Coast for making my life. We were wondering, by the way, Mike and I.
Here we go.
No. Mike and I, last year, 2022, it was always like, all right, this week in stupid, this week in gaming stupid, is Wizards of the Coast going to give us another entry? And this year, for 2023,
they got off to the right start.
They closed off the year. They actually, if we were at a carnival or like a county fair, you had the strongman game where you take the mallet, you bang the thing, and you see how high you can get the ring to go. And are you gonna ring the bell? You know what? They broke the bell on this one. Congratulations, Wizards. Nobody's gonna beat you.
I never did that. I was too busy over at the Wizards Freak Show watching the freaks.
Well, I remember the ones when I was younger. And you were in a Poconos. Oh wow, this is holy shit. This is nice. All right, it was worth the wait. And but I used to always like to see the two-headed camel or whatever it was, like the wolf bear boy, and 9 times out of 10 what you were seeing was something that some horrible taxidermist shoveled together, and they and you're like, I paid 50 cents for this. They were always a cheap exhibit as like an add-on to your visit to the but that's almost like what Wizards of the Coast is right now. It's like, oh, Wizards of the Coast, what next cheap exhibit are you going to be tossing my way? Let me count the ways. And
okay, you want to hear my
Arduin gaming sessions? Sorry,
I wouldn't mind trying one of those. I mean, I got all the books and stuff, but Arduin can go. Hargrave goes 10 directions at once, and a lot of it is keep what you like, throw away the rest.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
Definitely,
but there's so much. My God,
Glenn, when they start play testing, like maybe in-house or alpha play testing, Bloody Arduin, the new Arduin system. Should I be trying to push to get us access to the rules?
That might be not be a bad idea. You mean aside from the Arduino experience or whatever the
Yes,
hell they
what
called
they're
it?
working on a new Arduino rule set, and I know a couple of people that are involved in the
Well,
thing.
it won't be based. It won't be based on D&D this time,
It's
will
not
it?
going to be an OGL, that's for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Robert, my meh for N World was much larger back in the uh, in the days where they would talk about people like Gareth Skarka as icons in the industry. Um, but Morris has actually, when Morris is actually in charge at large and doing the hands-on work, he's very
doing the
good.
Morse thing.
But when he puts in the hands of quote professionals, they tend to put their agenda into it. So I haven't seen much agenda in there recently, and that's been very refreshing. Morris has done a great job on the 1.1. Um, I'm sure some of his sources, he probably has more sources than I do, but we probably overlapped on some. Uh, my source was accurate until earlier tonight when I got like phone calls, and you know, it looks like what is up there in the media is fairly accurate, and it looks like they're trying to get rid of 1.0. So go figure. And Morris doesn't have a. If they get rid of 1.0, Morris is looking at losing income. A lot of companies are looking at losing income. So it's got repercussions. He's invested in it, but not in the status quo.
My
He's not vested in Wizards of the Coast being the status quo. He's vested in what is the here and now. So yes, I'm happy to see that.
my you want to hear my official stance on this whole mess is
I'm leaning in, Glenn.
go ahead, let the world burn, but leave the OSR alone. That's
Leave
when I come out with it. That's when I come out with a shotgun.
Leave Britney alone. Oh wait, no, that's from like I don't know. Doesn't
Now
do
you're dating yourself.
Yes, but I watched that South Park episode like last summer, so it's still when they bring back all the ones like the memes, like the guy singing "Chocolate Rain" and the
My favorite, dicks out for Harambe.
there you go. Cheers, Don. By the way, Don, Buffalo Trace, and like I said,
Hello.
it really smells remarkable. It tastes good, but I could use this as a cologne. I don't think that it would be socially acceptable to use this as a cologne, but I mean, it could be. No. L, Wizards of the Coast superstar in 2023 has been the bearded lady lifting the man who bends the steel pipe with his teeth, with the wolf boy and some midgets dancing around her. So far, that will be the quote of the night. There's no prize to be given for that, by the way, but if there was, Dundercon is still requiring proof of vax.
Oh well, I may update or whatever. If they still have mask mandates, forget it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Um,
Rob, hola.
yeah, that's this kind of stuff makes Stako the Clown look tame.
Oh, it's like making a mock the OSR. That didn't work. We're gonna tear apart the OSR in an article on PBS. You read that article, right?
Oh yeah, that was like right on the heels. This was like right on the heels.
Well, yeah, it was like actually right. It's like, well, let's because if you're not signing up for 1.1 OGL, you're one of those. You believe in evil orcs and good elves and other
Yeah.
such. Well, here, Glenn,
Yeah, but it's friggin' PBS. Come on.
Well, it used to be. Listen, when I used to hate the evening news. Oh wow, the McNeil Lair news hour's on. I'll watch that because you know what? I'll get an idea of what's going on in the world without too much of a slant. Now, hey, we can slant. But I got a question for you, Glenn, because you and we've been gaming almost the same amount of time, and you were a couple of years ahead of me in age when you were getting introduced to gaming. But do you
And
remember
I'm still sane.
Yeah, well, Glenn, I never actually mentioned your sanity, but now that you're talking about it, now, do you remember the conversations in the late '70s and early and mid '80s of the nature versus nurture? Like, you're a paladin after chasing
Oh God, yes.
yes, back to the orc camp.
Oh,
You come across women and children and babies. What do?
it's
They're
funny.
evil, right? But
We
you
we
raise
had
them good.
yeah, we had an early episode, a very early episode of Thaco's Hammer, and all four of us were on there plus Crispy, and Crispy just kind of went off a little on that because there was some Ravenloft supplement about that kind of where they're going to put you in a moral position. He says, I do not have time to be put in those kind of moral quandaries, nor do I want, to be my character to be put in those moral quandaries. This is not why I play the game, to worry about orc babies.
Right. Leave them out. But we had nuance. Even back in the day, we had no. We listen. You want to hear nuance? Play one first edition as a paladin or a ranger, and then argue it out with your DM as to whether or not your actions were good or not. And I don't know if you should have shoved that evil brigand off the bridge like you did, as an example. Why? He was evil. Yeah, but that wasn't a good act. Defeating evil is a good act. We listen. There was nuance there, and yes, Robert, they really are trying to kill off 1.0. What I heard earlier tonight, no, yeah, the in, the industry is more than Wizards of the Coast, right? And we're going to address this in a bit, but the industry is more than Wizards of the Coast. So the strange bedfellows are probably brewing right now. You're going to be amazed at what companies wake up next to each other in this oversized California king bed, and they go, "Oh my God, I'm with you because the enemy of my enemy is my friend." And right now, Wizards of the Coast is the enemy of every third-party publisher.
If I see a bed that has Ken Whitman and Justin Lanassa in the same bed, I'm either going to take pictures or run.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably run.
Yeah, I'd be like, it's the sign of the apocalypse, right? It's one of the 7 signs. It's like, all right, well, the frogs falling from the sky, we have that. What about the locust farm? Yeah, famine.
Well, I told you about the what I feel about this thing, the OSR. But in the same time, I look on my shelves and go, I got all the games I need already. I can play whatever version of D&D I want. Nobody's going to come to my house and arrest me for playing it.
Oh, we're going to do the purge, Glenn. You must register all your game books. All your game books belong to me. And yes,
Here,
Rob.
I'm registering right there.
Rob, my sources are listen. My sources did not say the rumors are accurate. My sources were to the effect of everybody's having discussions with everybody, and contingency plans are in the works, and people are scared. I'm not going to say they're nervous. I'm going to say, and what I've heard in voices, people are scared because this is their livelihood.
Right.
That it looks like Wizards of the Coast believes they're going to shut down or try to, and the only way this plays out okay, in my opinion, all right, is if the community as a whole pulls together and tells Wizards of the Coast, go fucking pound sand. You're pulling bullshit. This is wrong. But you know what? They probably won't learn until they lose their business. Now, I've already seen D&D Beyond, their forum. Somebody pointed me there earlier. I was sitting in the car waiting for my mother to get back from a dollar store. I don't go into dollar stores unless I have to. Unless it's Dollar Tree, maybe. But and I was like, oh my God, they really are up in arms on the D&D Beyond forums, except for the handful like, well, we really haven't seen anything yet, so let's wait until we actually are stabbed in the back before we get up in arms. But apparently they're deleting comments. Would you
I
believe that? Yeah, I would.
I was watching one of the YouTube videos who were talking about it, and they pulled up a notice from WotC or something like that, saying we're just doing this because we're worried that we don't want to give our competitors any kind of advantage, on making more money. It's well, what the hell's the point from publishing this stuff then? Should I just stand on the corner with a tin cup saying, buy my supplement, give me a few cents? I mean,
Well,
geez.
Listen.
That was the whole point.
The point to the OGL as it was initially envisioned was, hey, we'll write the rule system, you write the supplements, you write the support material, you write the settings, you write the adventures. And you know what somebody did?
I know. I was there.
And then somebody went, hey, I can write a new game off of these rules, which obviously they did. Now, I am not a lawyer.
Or restate the old ones.
Or restate the old ones.
Sell them.
But, I'm not a lawyer. I will never claim
you play one on TV.
I don't even play one on TV or the internet because I have a soul. That being said, if they could have revoked the OGL 1.0 at the start of 4E, they would have revoked the OGL at the start of 4E. They would not have let Paizo come up and take the lion's share of the D20 gaming community to them when 4E was floundering. They would have gone, oh, well, yeah, oh, shit. We can revoke that license? Oh, unauthorized. You can't revoke it. You can unauthorize it, apparently, right? I'm not a lawyer. I think they are full of shit. I suspect that, hey, I'm not going to name any companies, but I'm sure you can do it yourself. All the publishers, they either have their own rule sets or publish using the OGL for 5E, and what 1.1 is going to do to your business. Nobody wants to be part of that, especially that section. Let me see it. I know I copied and pasted. Oh yeah, here it is. We take a strong stance against bigoted content, explicitly stating the company may terminate the agreement if third-party publishers create material that is blatantly racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, bigoted, or otherwise discriminatory. So who do you think that's aimed at? That's aimed at Wenger, Braggy, Zach Smith, Grim Jim, and others. That's their gotcha, right? That's their I got you. Mm-hmm. Who the hell is going to review every OGL 1.1 product? But they have to be reviewed. You have to submit them. They got to be reviewed.
It sounds like they wanted a document that would throttle every third-party company, trying to throttle their income, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Bruce, it can't burn. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a throw. Oh, them's fighting words. Show us on the convention program where DungeonCon touched you. Apparently,
I'm sure there's other cons, but that's the one I'm most familiar with. But anyway, like I said, they're just trying to throttle income on where they have no business to.
Or not just throttle. I mean, here's the thing: when we got the initial official leak or speak about the upcoming OGL, and they were talking about, well, if you make over 750,000, we'll take a small percentage. That small percentage is 25% of net. Okay, not what you gross, not your profit, your net. And it could be that all your profit is in that over 750,000 on your Kickstarter. And Kickstarter, by the way, confirmed that part because Kickstarter.
Now they're in bed with WotC. Great.
Well, we didn't make a deal with them. We just reached out on a behalf of our our dear creators and our extended family here and said, "Can you make a better deal for Kickstarter? We don't
and
get
they
kickbacks, yes, but you're going to get everybody
and the
going."
next
Yes.
and the next thing you hear is Watsy saying, "Well, Kickstarter is going to be in our official fundraiser,
Well, I'm sure.
type of thing."
And here's the thing then.
I just Kickstarters. I hate seeing people kiss ass like that.
Well, you
That's
know
all.
what? I
Anyway.
can already guarantee you that if you go to Kickstarter with your OGL product, and if 1.0 is like caught up in the courts and the courts say, "Oh, it's still in effect until we rule otherwise," Kickstarter will be like, "Oh no, you can't kickstart with 1.0. You have to do 1.1." It'd be like, "Why the fuck?" "Oh, because we still have to report your income to Wizards of the Coast." It's gonna be some crap like that. And yes, Rob, damn it, that was my reaction when I got my phone call.
Yeah. Well, see if we. I want to see if Kickstarter turns into the Starscream of this scenario.
Star Screen. There's a lot of fire sales of 5e stuff. Yes, actually, go to Troll Lord Games.
No kidding.
This is interesting. And Troll Lord Games is doing a fire sale on their 5e stuff. They're not doing any 5e stuff. 5e is done. 5e is over. They're putting all their eggs in the
Castles and Crusades,
Castle Crusades basket, which is a great thing.
which they should.
Which tells you two things. First off, 5e sales are going to tank over the next year anyway. Nobody's going to be buying material for a system they know is going to be obsolete in about a year. Unless you're new to gaming and you go, oh, look at the new shiny. You don't want to get fucked with something that's, now I can't use this. So what's going to happen then if Troll Lord Games wants to continue publishing? I think they already have in print. They can publish. I believe that there are likely a number of publishers. I've actually seen, I had an email from some DM Dave that said that he had published material for the next year and a half on drive-through. So it's published, but he's going to release it like a weekly or bi-weekly basis. But it's already published, so it's under the OGL 1.0. I don't know.
I just worry. I worry about the little guys. Mark Hunt just put a notice on Facebook about how the next Gangbusters book is going to be all-encompassing both volumes, but he's trying to figure out if he should switch to another system or not. It's like, no, there's a whole point of making it BX.
Now I have a question, and it's Glenn. I don't expect you to answer this. Maybe one of the legal eagles in the live stream could do this, or somebody who knows my contracts. Wizards of the Coast is saying 1.0, 1.0a is verboten. It's forbidden. It's no longer there. Pretend you ever saw it. Okay. What if I am another game system that uses that license, like Fate? Like OpenD6. These are open systems, right? That anybody can write for under the open game license of Wizards of the Coast. Now, if they're revoking that, does that mean that I couldn't publish under the OpenD6? Are you trying to say that everybody's got to start designing their own systems? Because I can tell you right now, there was one person in our gaming community who could fuck this all up for Wizards of the Coast. He could literally pound sand in their anal orifice. That sounds good.
Wait a minute. I got to go get some popcorn for this. No.
I don't know if anybody. I'm going to skip ahead. Oh my god, I got a lot of chat to catch up on. All right,
don't worry about it.
All right. All right. So I won't wait for answers. I'm going to throw out the.
What's the name? What's the name?
First name is Kevin, and not Simbita. Although he could do it too, but he won't. He's too much in control of his property. Crawford.
Your last name?
Crawford.
Crawford. I'm not.
Fine Publishing. He publishes without the OGL. Now, imagine, if you will, a world in which Kevin Crawford, Cinnamon Publishing, uh, Stars Without Number, Worlds Without Number, right?
Mhm.
Imagine if he said, I'm taking my core system and I am going to release it under, I don't know, Creative Commons commercial or an open game license. And I'll put out an SRD and allow the gaming community to work off that. And I haven't spoken with Kevin. All right. I think the last time we've even conversed was like on I don't know, a post like 3 years ago, but maybe longer, maybe before COVID. But what if Kevin, who basically writes a D&D clone, but not under
Mhm.
the OGL, released his under a similar license to the open game license? Then everybody could rewrite their games to refer to Kevin's SRD, not the WotC SRD, and Wizards of the Coast could pound sand up their anal orifice for as much as they want. They wouldn't get another ounce of blood out of any member of this community. I'm just throwing it out there. It's
See, I'm not. Like I said, I'm more worried about, like, I'm not even going to get into the frogs right now.
no.
But
Okay.
with Matt Finch, who wants to put out a new version of Swords and Wizardry, that could be some trouble.
I don't know if it would be, because say Matt does, he takes his current rules. You don't change your current rules, right? Maybe you change the layout, change the presentation, but you're not
Hmm.
changing the rules.
Hmm.
It's just a new printing, right? If you don't call it a new edition, if it's a new printing, then you release it under
That's how. That's how. That's
1.08.
how Castle. That's how Castles and Crusades gets away with it. They call
Well,
everything a new printing.
well, but they didn't have it. It wasn't an issue before. Now it's going to be potentially an issue. So, uh, Stuart,
Hello, Stuart. How are
welcome.
you?
Um, yeah, we only want no, Commandant, not 25% of your profits, 25% of your net. So you figure out the math on that one, and you tell me how to be profitable. If you make over 750K, you could wind up losing money on a project. Yeah, official social media is again there. I was being told, like, on Monday and Tuesday, that it was all gingerbread and tea and crumpets, and then it became, we are in dire straits. So I'm guessing what people were told and then what people were shown are two different things. I mentioned this to James Spahn. We were trying to consider what to call this, and I'm calling this the one game to rule them all, and in the darkness bind them. And that really is what we are looking at from watching. And by the way, this doesn't just affect publishers that we generally think of. Anybody like the One Ring just put out a fifth edition rule set, right? That affects them. Can you imagine taking their profits over 750,000? Not the profits, sorry, their income over 750, and being told, you owe us 25%. Say they came in at 4.75 million dollars. They'd owe $1 million. Do you think they profited $1 million after salaries and all that stuff? I doubt it. Doesn't matter. Give it to Wizards of the Coast, because Daddy's coming home and Daddy needs to get paid. It's, honest to God, it's worse than how a fucking street pimp treats their pros. Because at least their pros are getting a place to sleep, and they're getting fed, and they're getting clothed. Here, publishers are just going to get abused. Honest to God.
Yep.
Honest to God.
Publish full range of stuff without ever looking over our shoulders while reading. Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree, Rob. Totally agree.
I mean, if somebody can come out with uh, as my focus leaves me, with a D20 clone, like I said, somebody like Kevin Crawford, who can release an
Hey.
SRD and an OGL or an open license of any sorts, allow people to create. This is what really fucking pisses me off. This doesn't just hurt your big publishers. It hurts people like Glen Seal, right? It's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
hurt. It's gonna hurt people like me. Anybody who wants to put out something small, and you're not looking to make a huge profit off it. Hey, what if I put out something that's really cool, and then Watson goes, "Hey, we had the same idea, so we're gonna incorporate your idea into our idea, but we don't have to give you anything because OGL 1.1, remember, they read everything that you want to publish. 1.1 is the same as publishing on the DMs Guild. You give them irrevocable, eternal rights to your soul, or at least everything that you produce, and they don't have to give
Hey,
you anything back for it.
by the way, let me skip down a little. Grim Jim is in the house.
Thank you.
And down here below, he says there is a petition on change.org. You got a link to that? I'd sign it.
Grim, if you got the link to that, send it to me on Discord or on Facebook, because it's not going to show up on here because my settings are not to allow links, because otherwise we get people who join the channel just to put up porn links. And I'm not saying that we're a family channel. We're not, but we're certainly not here to.
Aside from that, welcome. I'm honored to have him here.
Grim, just so you know, I still have in my mind my favorite quote from you about me, and it was Tenkar is so neutral. Was it pathological? It was something of that sort. It was a great quote. I do appreciate it, but I'm not neutral on this one.
I thought you were going to say, Grim, I still have that $5 I owe you.
Well, that's fun. I'll catch me at a convention, Grim, and I'll buy you a drink. I am willing to bet the passion is there for someone to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. I personally know of we know of at least one letter that went out that's been making the rounds on the internet, and having conversed or multiple publishers are certainly looking at the legal angles on this. I would not be surprised to see things get really wild, really fast. This is going to listen. Whether you're a publisher or not, if you're a gamer, you're consuming published material offered from third parties, and this is a direct strike at third parties. And having spoken to a number of publishers, do you want to know why they think this is happening? And it's not just for the money. It's because Wizards of the Coast is embarrassed. Wizards of the Coast is embarrassed that third-party publishers, who shall remain nameless, but I'm sure you can name a few yourself, outsell Wizards of the Coast and their recent releases. Their recent releases have been treated like, well,
Crap.
Yeah, crap, shit in a cracker. They haven't been treated well by much of the gaming public. I'm not saying the brown nosers aren't enjoying it, because they'll be the ones to say, "Oh, look, Wizards of the Coast put out a guide to toilets for your fantasy campaign. It's the best book ever. I took it to my toilet, and yes, the toilets here are better than the toilet in my own house. I wish I had the fantasy toilet with the mimic in it, so then all my fecal garbage could go right into the mimic. It's amazing what they put into this book." And you're going to read that shit. So, I mean, real companies are putting out real material. Wizards of the Coast is trying to put out books that like check a box here and check a box there. Michael, I think there's legal precedence that shows they can't copyright mechanics. So I think it only covers specific IP that's obviously there, but that's a problem. You can't copyright mechanics, but you can copyright the presentation of those mechanics. So you better be somebody, Kevin Crawford, who will rewrite those mechanics so they're not presented in the same way. The OGL is the lazy man's way to present the game and not have to rewrite the mechanics.
Well,
That means that if you go to any of these OGL games, whether it's my Continual Light game, Swords of Wizardry, Labyrinth Lord, OSE, Pathfinder, although apparently not Pathfinder 2, Pathfinder 2 has an open game license, but it didn't take anything from the SRD of WotC. So they may be theoretically safe. They gave an OGL so you could produce material for it, but they saw the writing on the wall, which tells me that this has been in discussion for a while. So,
Well, okay. When it comes down to it, I may rant and rail about what about the OSR, all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to play whatever I want to play, what I got on my shelf. I've got at least 2 game systems that are not based on anything with the OGL that I can switch to in a heartbeat. I could go Savage Worlds. I could go Index Card RPG.
certainly.
I'm not worried about that part.
No, I'm not worried about that part either. Listen, you could bury with me with all my gains and have a Viking funeral pyre, and it would probably take days to burn out. All right, that's how much I've already accumulated. I will never be in a position where I'm going to say, I don't have enough games. And if I talk about selling them, it's not because I need money; it's because I need space for new games.
See, this is not the problem of when the OSR started, where people were going, I gotta go on eBay and find the copies of these games and stuff. Otherwise, I can't play it. I gotta pay $50, and then people like Matt Finch come along, and other people saying, "Here's some clones. You can use those."
And it's like,
so that's
fine. Yeah. Did
but
it ruin the secondary market for some collectibles? Certainly. I'm okay with that. Okay.
I just don't want to get to the point where we have to go back to like eBay and pay outrageous prices for stuff.
Yeah.
Almost hit it.
No, that's okay. L, how about no music, songs, videos, or pantomime? Poor Ginny D. Well, here's something else, L, that most people aren't even paying attention to, but I'll tell you this. If you're somebody who creates and you put stuff up on a website, on a blog, right? And I was doing that. I was releasing my stuff under the open game license because I like the idea of sharing with the community. Guess what?
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore because it has to be static. It has to be a PDF, an EPUB or something like that, or a printed material. Blog posts or verboten. You can't release that under the OGL. You can't write about it. If you don't write about it, if you write about it and you don't include the OGL, and I'm going to guarantee you this one, if you're somebody like me, if you're a loud fucking mouth like me, who do you think they're going to be looking at to say, hey, who can we hit here? Oh, look, Tenkar is putting up magic items there. Obviously, referring to material written under the old open game license. Oh, hit him with the C&D.
I've always held in the back of my mind about the OSR that, but for the grace of God go us. In other words, as long as certain companies are turning a blind eye, we're not going to have any trouble. Usually we try to keep it low profile anyway, so they won't notice us.
Right.
So there's that.
It's gone beyond that in this one, I think. And the community outrage. I don't know, and some publishers I've spoken to, many of them I just hear about secondhand, third hand. I don't know of any publisher that's going like, oh, Mr. Kata, Mr. Wizards of the Coast, pick me. I want to sign your license. No. Companies are going, all right, do I have to design my own home system? It's almost like going back to the Judges Guild stuff, where they were using their faux system, their percentile system that was really a D20 system, but it was to hide.
We should go back to that.
Might have to.
I've got tons of old copies and got the system in it.
So like Rob was saying, it's not only third-party publishers, but first-party publishers. Well, anybody who publishes a system is a first-party publisher. If you're good games, if you're Troll Lords, right? They have house systems. Yeah, it's now the trolls apparently are believe that they can continue publishing for their home system. I hope and pray they are correct. I no longer have the confidence in saying Yes, 1.0 is still going to be available for us to use in the OSR. I no longer have that faith, and that hurts. That's upsetting to me because I slept pretty well last night. I'm probably not going to sleep well this morning, and not because I'm going to be hugely affected. I'm not a huge publisher; it's going to disappoint me. But I have so many friends that are publishers, so many friends that are in the industry, and to see them literally get cut off at the fucking knees by a corporation like Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, I, honest to God, I'm going to say this out of anger, but man, I hope one D and D. I hope it tries to jump the shark, like the Fonzarelli, and
Like
fails.
4E did.
Yeah, I hope it's a worse failure than 4E. I hope the community walks away from one D&D. That's what I hope. If this is what we're getting, and my industry sources are telling me this is what we are getting, fuck Watsy. My personal opinion, fuck them.
No, it's more like F Hasbro.
Well, aren't they one and the same at this point? You know, you can.
Hey, if you're going to tell F you to the tail of the dog instead of the dog, that's your business.
I guess. Yeah, all right. John. They tried to move beyond the OGL model with 4E. They certainly did, but they didn't do away with the original OGL. Why? Well, obviously because they felt they couldn't. Obviously they felt, we
Now
we
they
can't.
think they can.
Now they think they can, or now, more likely. All right, and let's be honest about how, especially civil law works in the United States. Whoever has the bigger wallet, the deeper pockets, often prevails because we're Wizards of the Coast. We have Hasbro money behind us. We can put a law firm, the best law firm in the country. We can hire. What are these public? What's Paizo going to hire? You know, who the hell are Green Ronin? Who are they going to hire? Some schmuck from around the corner? Yeah, we'll have lawyers that we're paying $1 million a month, $1 million a day for. Let them come on. It's a pittance. It's a tax write off, and the deeper pockets
Yeah,
often win not because they win at the end, and they get a positive result at the end of the trial. The trial never gets there. They try to bleed somebody. Now, some people you can't bleed. Sometimes you try to bleed people, and then you'll be surprised at the deeper pockets that you didn't expect. And when that happens, then it becomes an oh shit, and then it becomes, uh, I would say, an equal
let's
match. But if it's an equal
let's
match,
make a deal.
here, Wizards of the Coast has a. I'm going to put it in poker terms. Wizards of the Coast has a weak hand, but they've got a huge stash in front of them, and they're going to keep on raising that ante and raising that ante and raising that ante, and it's going to scare you because then it becomes a really big, deep pot, and I can't afford. Dude, how much are you going to give me for my ring? How much for my watch? Are you going to get to that point, right? And Wizards of the Coast knows they're in court, taken to the proper conclusion. They'll lose, but they figured they can outweight anybody else. So I think that's the issue there.
You know, we try to fight this for the the next generation
Mm-hmm.
that's coming in, but I don't like fighting the next generation, which is the way it feels.
Don, will Kickstarter
I'm
remove
so,
campaigns that Wizards of the Coast asked to have removed? What do you think, Glenn?
that's tough call.
Um,
I would.
yes.
Kickstarter is just kind of a mystery thing to me. I mean, as far as the people who I've backed Kickstarter, I mean people who use Kickstarter to put
Well,
their stuff out. It's kind of a mystery to me because sometimes they react, sometimes they don't.
well, I suspect, being that they negotiated a better deal for creators on Kickstarter on the OGL 1.1 than.
Well, that gives me an idea which direction they probably lean.
Yep, I would say
You
so.
know, oh yeah, Cal saying it was bound to happen. Oh well, yeah. We were all sitting on kind of pins and needles at one point or another. But God, I'm glad I got you here as my partner, dear Eric. It's like
Come
you
on.
got the brains, I got the emotion.
No, please.
Well, I'm going off. I'm going off of the gut.
Yeah.
I don't really get deep into the legal ramification or the Monday morning quarterback and the stuff and all that kind of stuff. Because I just never mind me. Anyway,
No, but see, but Glenn,
this
your input is very important. I'm going to tell you
I
why.
know that. I know that. But what I'm saying is, I'm glad you're here because
I know.
sometimes I
We
sound
balance.
like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, but see, but Glenn,
but
we balance
but
very well because I'm somebody who is often too wired into this to see the forest for the trees, and
yeah.
you are aware of what you don't wire yourself in as deeply as I
Well,
do.
I take it all home and see how it's affecting what I'm doing here. But anyway, aside from that, like I said, Kickstarter is kind of a mystery to me. So,
Well, I mean, Kickstarter. There was a point at Kickstarter, folks, where their I don't know, their gaming vice president of whatever, was basically shilling his own shit on Kickstarter. Hey, my latest game, it's going to be a stiff pick, right? Look at me. And they wound up firing this guy for overstepping his bounds and basically giving Kickstarter a bad look. So now, do I think that if this blows up, and this is what I'm gonna make a prediction. If this 1.1 OGL blows up like it appears to be, blows up to the point where it starts getting larger coverage, not just at the geek locations, but on financial places like Wizards of the Coast, possibly going to be a money loser for Hasbro as community uproar. Possible misstep if that starts hitting things like the Wall Street Journal or
oh my God, Rupert Murdoch could have a field day with that.
Because let's be honest, they think they're making this move and it's going to make them money. And when 50% of your customer base says, fuck you, there are other games out there that I can play. I don't want to give you my money. I don't want to give you my recurring subscription to D&D Beyond anymore. Then they're going to fucking open their eyes. I'm going to, people forget, for the first 15 months of 5e, there was no open game license. There was no open game license. They were like, we'll give you the D&D basic PDF rule set so you can play D&D for free, because that's why you want the SRD and the OGL, right? You want it so you can play for free, and you're a bunch of freeloading fucks. So we're going to give you this basic rule set, and you'll be happy and go away. And nobody went away. Nobody stopped asking for it. And after 15 months, they gave us the open game license.
St. Cuthbert, anybody seeing the stream freeze? Yeah, I hope it does.
You hope our stream freezes? Or is that like urination stream?
No, the what we're talking about.
Oh.
I see. Yeah, there might be technical difficulties. I was taking it another way.
Listen, we have currently 57 live viewers, so it could be that StreamYard's like, oh, we only normally account for 20 or 25. They've got nearly 60.
57. Well, the fire marshal says we can only have 50 in here, so somebody's got to leave.
Yeah, you, and you. Step out into the vestibule, all right? Yeah, Rob's like, that's why they started getting mentioned specifically in the Hasbro end of year statements. D&D isn't just a game, right? D&D, and we forget that, but and
it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, but remember, they don't want anybody profiting off of the D&D trademark. So they're saying no music under the OGL, no videos under the OGL, no computer stuff under the OGL, because they're afraid that when they go to license materials, books, games to other companies, toys, full-grown 12-inch miniatures, your action figures for the D&D movie, that somebody's going to go under the OGL 1.0. hey, I can do D&D miniatures under the OGL. I'll just call them, uh, Dishonor Among Rogues. And they'll never know it's Honor Among Thieves or whatever the hell it is. And I'll make my money that way. I would almost guarantee you my fucking monthly pension that's a huge part of why they are afraid of the 1.0 OGL. And they're afraid of people using that to profit off the movie. And this isn't just about the game, folks, obviously, because it's about, we don't want people profiting off of our IP, which they shouldn't be able to anyway. But this is not the way to do it.
I keep thinking of those cheap knockoff toys from overseas.
Oh God!
Same.
And by the way, when I say
action figures,
yeah, when I say they shouldn't be able to profit off the IP, I'm saying they shouldn't be profiting off of stuff like the movie, which isn't going to be covered under the OGL anyway. But trust me, the people are going to try to make their workarounds. They're going to try to. Now you could probably still write an adventure, but they'll just deny it. Like, oh no, this is too close to our movie's plot line. I'm sorry, you can't have this. So, hey, I'm only 25 minutes behind now.
And I'm not. I don't care what they do. I'm not going to stop playing Hyperborea.
Well, that's just it too.
Jeff would have a problem too.
All of these, and they're not going to give you much time. Like it's like, oh, the license is out, and the old license is now expired. It's verboten. It is gone. It's just so hard to believe.
Here's something. Here's one little thing. Osric. Now, Osric was like one of the first. Did they have an OGL?
Yes, Osric was the proof, and I just froze there. So, Osric had the proof of concept of, can we use the OGL to replicate an old school rule set?
Okay.
And
I thought there was somebody like Jeff Talanian, who Hyperborea is based on 1E. And if they didn't have an OGL, it would be great. And he says, well, no, we're just basing this on Osric.
Right. Well, but that Osric is under the OGL.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked.
It was a proof of concept. And the reason why it was released out of the UK is because the laws are different in the UK they are in the States.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That's why Stuart Marshall and Matt Finch did it together, but they released it in the UK. So, or at least, I guess, via UK Limited Liability Company, LLC. So it gets released, and right away, what do they get? They get basically a cease and desist letter from Wizards of the Coast. You can't do that.
Not the way Matt tells it.
Well,
they said they were asking about a game, and could we see a copy of it? And Matt just said no.
No, but then they said they sent a C&D, and they were like,
really?
Yeah, no. And they just said, yeah, no, feel free to sue us in the UK. And then they dropped it. So They didn't sue. So, but once you got Osric out the door, once Osric became a thing, then it was like, oh, shit, this can be done. We can do this.
Yeah, and we did.
And that was eye-opening for a lot of companies. And all right, so folks, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm just going to click on everybody's stuff so you can get up on the screen. But I'm probably not reading much of it except for David. Yes, closed D&D. It's not an open license, and that's the other thing. You can call a piece of shit gold, right? And it could literally stink and be brown with bits of corn in it. They're gold, I guess. And you can go, no, this is gold. You can call it whatever you want. It's still shit. You can call this an open game license. It isn't. Okay.
Lipstick on a pig.
Lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig. Okay. So,
and you're annoying the pig.
And you're right, Rob. They don't have the manpower to supervise licensees producing the content, which is why I suspect they are going to have certain people on the automatically approved list, and then certain people on the must review with human eyes list, because that's going to be Wenger, Raggy. Personally, I suspect that people like Wenger and Raggy are going to go no OGL at all and say, "Come find me. Come find me. Give me a CD, and I'll take that one night. I'll take that one down, and I'll put the next one up." It's going to be whack-a-mole. Really, what it is, it's going to become whack-a-mole, and it's going to become a community that detests Wizards of the Coast, and uh, you don't want that kind of community pushback, because it isn't just the OSR. Okay, this is the Pathfinder community, still huge. This is the 5e community. You don't want that kind of reaction from the community, the fan community.
Right.
And by the way, their press release from earlier in December, when like, this isn't going to affect most nobody's going to be affected by this. Yeah, most everybody's going to be affected by this. They were full of shit. They knew they were full of shit, and I hate to be one of those who in the beginning was saying, "Hey, they're going to try to do their own D&D Beyond." Well, guess what? And that's how you were going to get access to the SRD. I was saying that back in early December, right? Well, basically 1.1 is D&D Beyond without the marketplace. 1.1 is D&D Beyond without the marketplace, because you got to give them all everything you want to release on it. You got to give it to them, and you got to put your little badge on. I'm part of one D&D. Put your badge on your product. You got to report your earnings if you hit certain numbers. Come on, this is, and of course they own everything they don't. You own it. They own all the rights to it. So you actually own it, but you own something that is worthless if they decide that they want to use it instead. So
I was afraid to mention something. It could be one step worse than this. Disney buys WotC.
Oh, but you know what? Then we would get like a Gary Gygax event at the amusement park, right? Like,
yeah, but I've seen the crap that's going down on there right now in all their divisions, and it's not pretty.
Wow. I only now
Clownfish talks a lot about it. I like Clownfish. They talk about that and this. And I kind of like to watch them. So
I've been told that that myself and Clownfish like are having like the exact same views right now, and I find that it's like, again, strange bedfellows, right? It's like, well, we might disagree on, but when it comes to Wizards of the Coast and the 1.1 OGL, we are apparently spot on the same fucking place. Robert, yes, Wizards does not want this to go to court. However, it will go to court if they go through with this. I will guarantee that from discussions I've had and what I've already seen online. That now Wizards is not going to get good PR out of this going to court. Okay, and I can guarantee
that.
And I can guarantee you that the companies involved in a possible lawsuit would certainly know how to use public relations to get this in the eyes, not just of the geek places, but it'll sneak into other places that you'll be very surprised that, because people, I know people in the gaming community. I know people in publishing that have connections at different media sources. So yeah, this will get good coverage. And in that case, do they really have to win if you can embarrass the shit out of Wizards? I don't know. I really don't know.
I would like to live another 75 to 100 years just to see if D&D actually makes it into the public domain.
Well,
I forget it's Gary's dead, so Lifetime Plus. They keep changing it every year because Mickey Mouse doesn't want to go in the public domain. But the point is, it'd be interesting to see what would happen if it did go in the public.
But aren't the early Mickey Mouse cartoons where he doesn't look like Mickey yet? Aren't those in the public domain? I believe no.
There's two silent ones. What they don't want is next year Steamboat Willie gets in the public domain. If they don't, and I'll bet this year they're going to try and change that, the copyright. That's what they did last time. Because Disney will fight that tooth and nail.
Oh, of course. Stewart, PBS, Wizards of the Coast. They've already said the entire OSR is bigoted. They basically did say that. The OGL 1.1 says no bigoted content. So setting the stage for being able to kill any and all OSR products. Except this is big. And
tell me about it.
A coalition of the unaligned. I wonder what we have to call that. If various game companies of different places on the social spectrum all come together under one banner to fight WotC on this, that is really going to be an interesting thing. Graham, I've already welcomed you like half an hour ago. I'm like catching up to it. Yes. Link is in common room on Discord. What link is in the common room?
I think the one from Grimjin.
Okay. All right. I thank you. I
want to at least take a look at it.
Okay, hold on. I got a copy of the link, and I'll put it in. Sorry, I didn't even get to that. Holy shit! Thank you, David, for putting it in all capitals, so I could actually
see, folks. I can see the scroll, but I can't really do anything because he's running the show.
Yeah.
So I can't help catch up.
Great, I'm going. This will show up on screen minutes after I'm done with this. Thank you, Grim. I just got it up. Grim just got me on Discord. My opinion on these petitions, having been in a government agency that often was on the receiving side of petitions like this.
Oh my gosh!
They don't always do a lot, but
it can't. I just tried to go there. It says the server's misbehaving. In other words,
people are hitting the shit out of it. So actually, it might work.
Yeah,
if you get a 500,000 people sending this in, then in the next couple of days, yes, dogpile it. I will put the link up on the screen. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. I'm gonna create a banner.
A banner. Bruce Banner. Banner.
There it is. All right. So we don't have to wait for me to catch up to myself. But of course, the banner's going to disappear though as I start catching up on comments.
Yeah, somebody was trying to devil's advocate about that, and Michael. It's like, well, I didn't say I'd sign it. I said I'd look at
it. Here's the issue with Wizards of the Coast. They let the genie out of the bottle, and now they're telling the genie, well, you fulfilled the wishes that I initially had, but now I want you to go back in the bottle because I want to do some more wishes. That's not how the contract goes. So
this is good. I got it on the page. This is good.
Okay, you're doing the petition? You want to read it out loud?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
Is it like a lot of text? Can you read it?
No, there's. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs.
Oh, should I put up on screen?
Sure. Why not?
Hold on.
They have 170 already signed for it.
All right. Let's. Oh, James, you started it. Holy shit. All right. Well, thank you, James.
All right.
Hold on. I'm doing this like something in. Wait, why aren't you getting mine? Oh, okay, that's why. Petition. Here we go. Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro intend to change the Open Game License (OGL), which has stood for 23 years and boosted the success of 3rd edition D&D and 5th edition D&D. This new license threatens to undo the game's newfound popularity and to undermine the principle of open gaming, which become a staple of the hobby and has underpinnings has underpinned many games, not just those derived from Dungeons and Dragons. Pushing through this new license and attempting to invalidate the old one, 1.0a threatens to annihilate all the goodwill and participation that has built up in recent years and to damage not just D&D but the hobby as a whole irrevocably. It also serves against the explicit wishes of those who created the open license in the first place. Previous attempts to scale back or do away with the license under 4E D&D were a disaster. Game system license, go fuck yourself. We appeal to Wizards/Hasbro to cancel this move and to retain the existing dual license model moving forward. Well, God bless you. All right.
I got 177 already. They're going to 200. Hope they get more than that. There you go, Eric.
There we go. Signing in. Woohoo! All right. All right. I'm going to get us out of there for now.
Out.
So I will at some point. Well, that's where you go. Wizards-Hasbro-do-not-change stuff.
I have not signed a change.org petition in a long time, so I'm looking forward to being inundated by email from change.org. But I did my duty. So
yes. With third-party publishers get away with recommended donations that are charging a fixed amount when releasing material. If this goes down, apparently you can offer stuff via Patreon, but it has to be stuff that's still going to be free because you're doing the fan policy. So, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to answer that one. Sorry. The incomplete state of Spelljammer was released in, and yes, slavery where there was none in the source material. Wow, that worked out well, didn't it? Okay, sorry, folks. I'm only half an hour behind. Only half an hour. I'm just gonna click on you a bunch of.
If this keeps up, we're never going to get off the air.
Oh my God! Well, we hit like 62 or 63 at one point. We're holding on to our viewers. I don't, and neither one of us has done like taking any clothes off. I'm just trying to figure out how this is working.
One of these days I'm going to do this show shirtless.
Well, you know what? If DCC rewrote their system to get away from the OGL, that would be very interesting, and it would be the first time I'd actually buy a new printing of the book in a long time. Because I have way too many printings of it.
Yeah.
The VTTs all have their own separate licenses. Those that do, but those that don't, going to be in trouble. It's going to make those and the haves and the have-nots. And yes, they can't make a decent amount of content at all. Right. Oh, look at that. We're less than half an hour behind you guys. Holy shit. You know what? Maybe I'll sing some Looney Tunes songs in the meantime. No, you know what? That's it. That's it. Somebody tweet Elon Musk and tell him that gaming needs a hero. And it has to be somebody other than the current individual behind TSR, who apparently
a Tesla full of dice.
I want a Tesla full of dice and an OGL in my OGL 1.0 in my stocking, please, because we need it. Please, folks, please. Michael was playing Devil's Advocate, which usually means you take on a role that isn't one that you would normally take on, and one that you don't believe in, but you take a stand. So you have.
Thanks for gamer splaining.
I figured I had to say it. When you were just kissing Watsu's ass. No, I don't think that was a point to it. Stuart, yes, there are a lot of influencers, and they're true believers. All right, that's that, and that's part of the thing too. You got true believers out there.
Excelsior!
That anything that comes out of Watsy is going to be a amazingly awesome, even when it's not. It's just like when you going back to the way it was done in the 70s. Seems worth. Yeah, but in the 70s, what happened? Right, everybody got sued. What happened to Mayfair Games? Studio, right? They got sued. I mean, I have my collection of the Devils and Demons books in my closet. Still see, I got them for pennies on the dollar in the aftermarket, like, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago, because they were sitting in a warehouse for Mayfair after that lawsuit. And Mayfair pretty much went belly up with that, right? What about Dangerous Dimensions? Oh, Dangerous Journeys. Had to get
Somebody,
renamed after that lawsuit.
yeah, somebody, somebody put a meme up on Facebook saying, "Unbeknownst to us, Lorraine Williams is back in charge of WotC."
Oh my God. Well, remember what they used to say about TSR? I remember this in my Commodore 64
They
days.
sue regularly. They sue regularly.
The moment I went from my Commodore 64 to my first IBM PC, low end 486, I think it was a 33SX, but I was able to get onto the internet. I was able to get onto like bulletin boards, even if I had to call long distance. And I found the netbooks. Remember those netbooks that you could find?
I used to have all of them on my hard disk. Those were 3E netbooks. Those were fun.
Don, that's how many companies were reading this. But what I have recently been told shortly before coming on the air is that many of the companies that were reading it the way that the OGL 1.0 is still in effect for prior editions is not how they currently feel it's going to be shown. Listen, they're expecting war. Strange bedfellows. I'm not going to stress it enough. Strange bedfellows are going to be forming. You can be like, I can't believe these companies are all on the same page. All right. Here, I got to just do it for my mental health. I'm just scrolling through this, and
what is the sub-bias in this context?
Oh my God! Yes, Outlook. All right. Current comment. Yes, look at that. Holy crap! It's a good thing I got through all those comments.
You did?
God. No, I just scrolled through to the end. But folks, change.org. That's the link. It's up in the chat prior. You know what? I can probably still paste it into the chat again. Go to the link. If we can,
I'll probably put this up on my Facebook page. The link on my Facebook page too. Old man Grognar says, "Sign this sucker."
Yes, I cheated, L. I cheated. I cheated like I did in modern logic back in college. The one time I cheated. All right. Sometimes you need to do it for basic survival. I was trying to dig myself out of a hole, and it was filling faster than I could deal with it. So
he cheated like cheating with the prom queen.
Oh, that would be good. As long as it's like a real prom queen, not like like, oh, we felt sorry, so we made Bob the prom queen. That would be not right. I would not be happy.
I don't want that thought. I don't want that thought. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Glenn. I try to give the nicest thoughts, the most kindest thoughts. So,
my God.
So outside of OGL 1.1, outside of PBS, throwing the OSR again. The OSR paragraph came out of nowhere. By the way, it's like, oh, we could talk about positive stuff. Oh no, let's just the OSR and by the way, anybody who writes an article or answers a question for an article where it says every, the OSR is, and it's just one line. You know what? You're full of shit. Because the world of absolutes is not a real world. At least not when it comes to social communities. And I mean that whole absolutism I saw there was very offensive. So Martin,
Well,
I don't know. Uh, I'm sure somebody has a product out to explain that one. I don't know. Hey, listen, we're talking about children's books, aren't we? And we are a channel that does not discuss children's books. So I can't get into that conversation. So it was the summer of '69. Great song. I actually was listening to that in the way back from Long Island earlier today. Because again,
good for
like
you.
Brian, I have XM radio, Sirius XM. All right, Glenn, how long have you? I had I've had XM for a number of years, and then I didn't have it for about 5 or 6. But I had XM when you had to get your own radio and like stick it in your car and then play it
Hmm.
on like I could play it on an FM channel in the Poconos without a problem. In New York City, I always had bleed over, and I still remember the one time I parked at work, and I guess I thought I put my XM radio in my pocket, but I didn't. It fell to the ground. So 8.5 hours later, I'm walking back to my car, and on my windshield is my XM radio. This was in Lower Manhattan, uh, going back probably about 10 years. Somebody, somehow in Manhattan, was nice enough to say this radio must belong to this car, and nobody in Manhattan stole it for a full day. So that was uh, actually it was a what time? That could have been my Christmas
I,
party.
I've had it for about that long. No, I've had it for at least, see, last sometime in the middle of summer or something. Becky got a 2 year contract with Sirius XM. She paid for 2 years. I don't know how that happened.
Okay.
Before that, we turned it on. You know, we for a few months we turned it off if we had to cut back or whatever. I always try to get her to turn it on when we have to drive to North Texas and back, because I hate playing radio musical chairs,
Oh
if
my
you know what I
god.
mean.
Oh yeah, I do. From driving to the Poconos, it's like you
Yeah,
listen to a
before
good
that, I was
song.
using Pandora.
Yeah, you're listening to a good song, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Why am I hearing a
You
like
know, I
that
thought
Pentagon
half. I
walking
thought half of
station?"
the. I thought half of the shotgun seat was doing this
Yeah,
all
you're
trip.
the co-pilot. You're the co-pilot. You gotta go or digitally beep beep
Yeah,
beep. So yeah,
yeah. But
I love
like I
listening
said,
to
I
that
like.
stuff.
I used. I there was one station. I think it's still 156 or something. The old time radio channel where they would play old time radio shows
Oh, okay, that's cool.
all 24/7. They
Well,
also, I think, I don't know if this is Pandora or what, but I think they have a Goon Show channel.
Martin, we tend not to stay on topic. Usually, that's because in the live
Excuse me,
stream,
this topic is very inflammatory, so
yeah.
we
Well,
need a break once in a
yeah,
while.
like I gotta get up and like like give my hemorrhoids a break. This is like kind of like that. It's kind of like you mind if I get up and step away and clean my palate. And by the way, I am still working on my Buffalo Trace because although this is a shit day for the gaming community and the open game license, on a personal level, it was a good day for me. So I I I I I guess I should cheer for myself and then like throw the rest over my shoulder for my homies in the OSR, but I don't want to waste good Buffalo Trace, so um, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But no, usually, and Glenn will tell you, usually we are like a herd of cats because we'll be talking about a topic and then somebody's going to go in the background and go, "Did you hear about the latest from Rollmaster?" And we're like, "What? Rollmaster, the unified system?" I was like, "Oh," and then we're off on a
Chart
tangent.
Master. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah, you're right.
Have you tried a CD player in a car?
I have a DVD player in my car. Yes, I have. And I've
DVD?
also got a few DVDs too. See, these are old ones, but and also I have a small boombox right here next to me to use, which I bought on Amazon, and it's one of those like off-brand things you buy on Amazon you want to try out. The company's called Lawn Poo.
Long poo?
LONPOO.
Okay, I think like long poo.
Yeah, I think I bought it just for the hilarious name, but it works great. I mean, I can even run a USB stick on this.
Really?
It's done all right. I didn't need much. I just wanted something that I didn't want to have to listen on here all the time. Because sometimes I'm doing something else and I end up turning it off accidentally or something. Anyway, plus I got a lot of music on my backup hard drive. Anyway, Dark Master, the cleaned up shark.
Yeah, I've actually peeked at it, and then I remembered when I was younger, in the summer of '79, probably. No, maybe later. Maybe summer of '89, I would be running MERP and Rollmaster, but now I don't like the charts in DCC. So the charts in Rollmaster are going to be a bit beyond me, or the Dark Master. So, Jim, petition hit 200 much faster than hit 100. So hopefully, get some legs. Jim,
Good.
I will, if I can remember, I will try to keep a link to that petition up in my live streams or my regular videos for the next couple of days, because I your voice on social media, folks, is very important. Even if you say to yourself, my voice doesn't matter for shit. And believe me, I've said that to myself many a time. The reality is, yes, your voice doesn't matter for shit, but when your voice and 200 others whose voices don't matter for shit come together, guess what? That's now one voice that's 200 times larger. So if you see a thread on Facebook or on Twitter and it's talking about the OGL 1.1, like it or give an angry face or a sad face, comment. I can't believe this crap. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be long and deep. But when Watsi is monitoring this stuff, don't get me wrong. Don't get yourself wrong. Wizards of the Coast, they just hired 350 programmers, right, for D&D Beyond and their VTT. Well, right now,
GPA.
Yep. Right now, I am great. I'm sure that they are sitting down and monitoring social media. I'm sure that possibly even one person watching right now this live stream is from Wizards of the Coast. And I'm not talking somebody I personally know over there who has never given me any information because they understand what an NDA is. But they watch. I know people at Wizards watch this channel, watch similar channels, because they want a feeling for the pulse and they don't care about what I'm saying. They're watching what you're saying in the chat, because what I'm saying, I'm just a pundit, and I'm not the RPG pundit, but I am a pundit. I've got a soapbox. But your voices are the ones that in the end are going to matter, because your voices are your voices are the ones that are going to vote with your wallet, with your credit card, with your debit card, and you're the ones that are going to say, "Hey, yeah, Watsy, one D&D, thumbs up, thumbs down, success or failure." If they don't get the subscribers that they're expecting, it's going to be a failure. But look at it this way. This is the amazing thing. This is what blows my mind. One D&D is a year away, and they're already trying to destroy the current market for OSR and OGL gaming. Why is that? They figure if they destroy it for a year, they come into a fresh market. They come in to a market where all the pieces are there and they just got to pick them up. That's the harsh reality. That's the truth behind this. This is them saying every other time we've changed editions, we've been slow. No, this time we know our next year sales are gonna suck. Well, you know what? Let's make sure Paizo sales sucks. Let's make sure Troll Lord sales sucks, and Goodman Game sucks, and Cobalt Press sucks. And let's make sure everybody else, let's push them out of the business before we even release. Okay. Why do they say, "Oh, the first year we're not going to tax you. We're not going to ask for revenue sharing. Just reporting," because they know there's not going to be any revenue to be shared this year. they want to push publishers, competitors out of the market. This is
Hmm.
actually would be. I'm thinking with a proper lawyer, you could use the antitrust laws in this case because this seems like monopoly trying to crush its competition, and that is huge. That is what we're looking at. And I don't, you, yes, here I've done that myself. I I don't know. Are they give me cease and desist for giving a finger to people on the other side of this camera?
Hey, I've done it twice already. So hey,
Yep.
and I just SMS'd my two game groups with the link saying, "Hey, sign this."
See, I think what blows the mind of the suits and the bean counters at Wizards of the Coast is that over the last 23 years with desktop publishing becoming what it is and people that get into this hobby and create material. I'm going to go back to Glen Seal, Monkey Blood when I say this. I mean, as mostly a one man show, amazing high quality work, and
It is.
that's what they want to stomp out. And if they
He
can't stomp it
is.
out, they want to take a share of the profits, but not just the profits, a share of the total revenue, and
You
that.
know.
Uh,
You know. I'm thinking the way I have my my GMing set up. Excuse me.
huh.
Is I've got my own world. Okay, campaign world. I also have what I call a burner world. That's the thing I take to like cons and stuff. If I have to do, if somebody wants me to run something in a world, there it is. I got a few things on there. Fine, let's go. And both of them are um, system agnostic.
Really?
Yeah, I mean
You can do
that's the
those
way
settings pretty easily.
that's the way that, for us I'm concerned, that's the way GMs do it. Okay, set up your world. You can put your notes and stuff, but if you have to rewrite stuff real quick, that's no problem because you have the world separate from the what you're writing. Um, and I was hoping would WotC would understand that people can move from game system to game system very easily.
Yes.
It's not instant, but very easily.
It's like a spurned lover. They will find a replacement. By the way,
Right.
Al, here's the thing. You're saying Goodman does all the D&D 5e conversions. I mentioned this, and by the way, I got nasty pushback when I said they stopped doing licensed D&D conversions of the TSR releases. And like, oh no, they're doing Caverns of Tracia next. Caverns of Tracia might be
The
for
Judges Guild.
D&D, but it's a Judges Guild product.
Hmm.
I believe I have, especially once I saw they were no longer selling print copies of their
See
conversion
you,
on
Grim.
their website. They were selling them through Amazon. But my belief was, and still is, they lost the license from Wizards of the Coast. So they can still say we're doing, you know, classic classics reborn or whatever the hell it is, but they are not the TS. That's not the classic TSR stuff. So it's not under license from Wizards of the Coast. I think we got to remember that. Grim, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your
Thank
presence.
you very much for gracing us.
Yep. Uh,
That's true. That's true. Very true.
yep. I know that was a special license. I again, I have people that I know at Goodman are freelancers, so I don't ask them these questions because if they knew, they would not be in a position for authority to tell me. But my belief, and I could be wrong, is that they no longer have a license with WotC. But neither here nor there, because there were a lot of TSR era titles they could have worked with before going to Tracia, which has already been recently reprinted by Necromancer Games, I believe, a dozen years or so ago. So
Yeah,
it's
something like
hasn't
that.
already been done.
Good
Uh,
night, Dave.
good night, Dave.
See you next Thursday. Um, Yeah, that's the only way I can get a Caverns of Terrasia copy. I couldn't find anywhere. I even told Janelle, and she's gone, where are you looking? I showed her, and it's like, wow, there's nothing out there, eBay or anything.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sparky,
side note.
why Injustice has named the non-D&D based games use the OGL as the base of their open license. I will tell you why. Because it was there and it was free, and they were being lazy because they didn't want to hire their own attorney to write a license for, I don't know, a couple hundred, maybe $1,000. And hey, listen, Wizards of the Coast says you can use it. And now, you're fucked. So
hey, I want to. Here's an idea. Thinking about this, what happened way back when?
Right.
Did we just do like a? Did TSR basically with the original OGL? Basically, it's a trap.
We're gonna set this trap. Wizards of the Coast set this trap for 23 years down the line. That's certainly that's what we always intended for it to be revocable. Well, how about the person that wrote it and it says that's not true? Oh, well, then they should have written it better because we see it as revocable. Well, you didn't see it that way 10 years ago with 4E. Oh, well, we meant to see it that way back then. Yeah.
It's a toilet trap.
But yeah, the other companies using the Wizards of the Coast OGL was laziness and under the belief that it was irrevocable.
And we still believe it.
You know? Yeah, they got Wizards of the Coast got sued for using the Knights of the Dinner Table comics in their CD collection of Dragon magazine without getting the rights, and that was settled by Kendraco by saying, "Hey, give us a license to publish AD&D 2E, but it's a parody license, so we can publish it, but it's got to be parody."
1E.
Was it 1E? I thought it was 2E.
It was 1E.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 2 because I thought they had.
No, they wanted to look as close to Gary's stuff as possible. Only funny.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected. Oh, look at this! I'm finally catching up for the second time. Oh my god!
Yeah, it's time to stepping back up.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well, I'm gonna make an observation and just say, "Holy shit, 64, 60." Yeah. You don't know. You have no idea what you tuned in for because it's just, two old grogs bitching.
I didn't know what I was tuning in for.
Oh well, you were tuning in for our random Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse session, which
I didn't even get the waitress to come around for drinks.
Dude, I'm still nursing mine. It's like it's like I'm at a strip club. No, this one drink is fine. I'll be here for 5 hours. This one. A little bit more water. No, tap water. I don't want the bottled water at $10 a bottle. I want the tap water. Oh, that's still $5. Don't spit in it, please.
Anyway,
well, Glenn.
I'm just about. You were going to make an observation.
Yes, make an observation. No, that's how I'm exhausted.
Me too. Me too.
Folks, honestly, you have been an amazing live stream audience. Couldn't ask.
Yeah, you guys are great.
Here, Glenn, you want a little secret? Can I give you a little secret? For any of the live streams on this channel, the most we ever had at one time was when Luke Gygax was our special guest on Wednesday night. You know what our high number was? 54.
We beat that.
And we beat that because it's an excellent community. And I really got to say, I appreciate.
I think somebody.
What?
Yeah. I said, I think somebody tossed you a couple of bucks too.
Did they? I apologize if I didn't see it in the midst of all this.
I can at least scroll it here.
I can scroll too.
Mark Schmid gave $2.
My God. Oh, there we go. Let me get him up here on the screen.
If he's still here.
Mark Ash on the D&D Meets the End time. Thank you. That was
Thank
probably
you.
when I gave up and said I just got to scroll through all these comments. Oh my god! And just so you know, the monies that come into this channel, whether it's from donations like this, ads, subscribers, we do have people who subscribe, but we enjoy the tips too. The monies that come in from this goes toward equipment for my fellow co-hosts and stuff like that. If I upgrade my equipment, it's always like Amazon gift certificates from Christmas. It's like, ooh, I got 300 to spend. Maybe I got a new camera.
This is what I have it on.
Oh, I like that though. Hey, it makes it nice and high.
Yeah.
That mic, by the way, is the Elgato mic. It is excellent. It is the best quality mic I have used.
Yes, it is.
Really
and good. My peeps on my other games are lining up to sign that petition.
Oh, I can. And now Ellison and Tammy also upped her membership, and I missed it. Tammy, well, Tammy knows where to find me. You can have your husband yell at me. It's fine. I'll forgive him if he does. But yeah, I mean, you folks, you know, I have been very engaged in this episode, this live stream, this audience, this crowd.
We couldn't shut him up.
I'm still working on this little bit, and I had this little bit of punch over here, which I haven't even touched.
So Tammy upped her membership?
Apparently so.
Thank you very much. And all I got to say to you, Tammy, is how you doing? Anyway.
But again, you all have been amazing. You're the reason why Glenn and I, Mike and I, the random jackasses, Rach and I on Saturday nights, the reason why we do this is because of you. All right. We do it because of your feedback, your interaction, and you have made this one of the best live streams from my personal perspective.
You have.
That I have participated in. So
this is more fun than any of my videos. This is more fun than any of my videos.
It's because everybody, you know what? I can't do a live stream just by myself because I'll never keep up with the comments, and there'd be just so much of random silence of me going. But Glenn and I have known each other for years. We've worked together on podcasts for years. We've been doing this live stream now for what, 2 years almost?
2 years? Wow.
We have 2 years.
That's all right. The other day I figured out I was doing Radio Grognard for 3. I said, where'd the time go?
So I mean,
she is awesome.
If you all weren't part of this, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. We wouldn't be as engaged.
Any of it.
So
any of it. His sites or mine. Either one. We wouldn't be able to do this.
I aim to be the best source of, and again, when I was talking about the OGL looked good for 1.0, that's what my latest source was telling me, and it was valid. And when the same source calls you up and you hear you got to listen and just listen and you understand, I was like, all right, we went from got nothing to worry about to listen, just listen. That's a huge change, and I give you what I know. So, as I said before, until the OGL is released, we don't know what we have, but I can tell you this much: until it's released, you have a chance to change it. You have a chance to influence it and use your influence. I mean, some people might say, email Chris Cox, email Chris Perkins. You know what? Why not?
Hit that last comment.
When is the new OGL officially dropping? Do we have an estimate? It's supposed to be out by the 13th. And when I say by the 13th, is it was supposed to have been out on the 4th, which is why I think things may be changing. And it's supposed to be these companies that are under the NDA, these companies that are in effectively negotiations with WotC, were supposed to all decide whether or not they're signing it by the 13th. And if they weren't signing it, it meant that they weren't going to be participating in selling OGL products. Since they're all in this NDA extended meeting, OGL products are their bread and butter. So now that leak that we had, the one that hit everywhere, that leak came out because somebody who was under the NDA was like, "Holy shit! If this goes through, my business is done. I'm gonna have." Because don't get me wrong, even the companies that can operate under this are going to have to downsize. And if it isn't downsizing, the people that they're hiring direct are going to be downsizing their freelancers, their artists, their writers. It's going to be cost cutting across the board. It is going to happen, and nobody wants
Well, all I got to say is everyone should sign this. I myself am not really much of a content creator. A few drawings and a few books here and there. But as a player, I don't want to lose out on all this.
No.
There's some damn good stuff out there and stuff coming out. There ain't this just like ticks me off to have them like just stop, use the boot to stomp everybody.
Well, again,
and that's from a common guy talking.
Right. I'm the uncommon guy. But all right, Glenn, the new
Joe Gamer. Hey, you know what? I've never taken a survey or anything like that about the OSR, but people who are in the OSR community, don't we have a lot of lawyer gamers?
We do.
That's a good thing to have right now.
And I'm going to guess that there's been a lot of conferral with not just lawyer gamers, but lawyers in general, because this is people's livelihood. All right. For people like me, it's a hobby. For Glenn, it's a hobby. Even if we dabble in publishing, it's a hobby. I don't need this to make my bills. Okay. I've got a generous pension. Okay. I'm fine.
Al had a good idea. We should have stormed WotC's headquarters because it's January 6th.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Just a few old broads. They'd be like, few neckbeards. We would have done a great time.
Yeah, I'd get a MAGA hat and cross out America and write D&D. Make D&D great again.
Make Greyhawk great again. You gotta get the Joe Biden.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sorry. Make D&D great again.
But I just take a Sharpie and cross all those out and put D&D or Greyhawk or Forgotten Realms or whatever the hell.
You're ruining a good hat, Glenn. You're ruining a good hat.
I buy two, keep one for sentimental reasons. But anyway,
we're exhausted now. I'm not making.
There we go. Make adventuring great again.
There you go. I'm not making any promises. There has been talk with the other Friday crew that they want to do a special episode. We're talking about maybe this weekend. Could be tomorrow afternoon around noon. Could be Sunday around noon. I don't know, because Rob, Tim, and a few others have some thoughts on this matter that they want to share. You've heard me rant. You've heard Glenn try to be the voice of reason.
And rant.
There'll be no voice of reason if I can bring these guys in. I will let folks know on the Discord.
I'd love to be there. That'd be fun. I'd charge admission.
Oh, well, charge admission? You can't charge admission to this. It's free. Free. Rob says he could be there Sunday. Well, we'll see.
Keep me in mind. I know I'm supposed to have Jason's D&D game, but I can get out of that.
We'll send you a link.
This is important. Okay, cool.
We'll send you listen, here's the thing, folks. All right. You got to keep it front and foremost in your gaming social media mind. Participate in the threads where this is important, because again, WotC is paying attention. Trust me, they live and die by social media, and I'm sure that Twitter is where they live.
Hey, doesn't everybody?
You say you want a revolution. I want.
Hey, you want a revolution? Well, it should start right now. I forget what the lyric was for his other song.
Glenn, we're leaving in Ohio, man. We hit 65. We're at 62. You folks don't know when to say goodnight. We're going to have to say goodnight.
Unfortunately. Keep the conversation going somewhere.
We could, but can't.
On Facebook or something.
On Facebook. Keep it going on Facebook, on Twitter, on Discord.
On the Tinker's Tavern.
Facebook. community. Yeah, I mean, this is what if you don't know, well, we
Yes,
all want to
yes.
change the OGL. That could be a copyright violation. Oh no, it's a spoof. It's okay. Um, my normal spiel about the endemic. I'm not going to go into that. Be safe, be well. Honest to God, God bless each and every one of you. You have made. Oh, there's my McDonald's coming up. You have made an amazing evening before I logged in, except for that phone call. Even more beautiful and amazing by being here and participating and getting us through this. Holy shit! So God bless you all, and catch Glenn on was it Radio Grognard?
Radio Grognard.
Radio
I'm on
Grog.
like 10. I'm on like 10 podcatchers and Thaco's Hammer and
Say goodnight, Gracie.
good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Anyway, don't forget. Good night, folks. Good stuff.